of things require clarification. Now, let's take one lens for example, not this one. The new 105mm f1.4 Nikkor, $2,200 of crap. It renders flat. That lens is an answer to a question that nobody was asking. Do you understand what that means? An answer to a question nobody was asking. I've had several people ask, oh, you got that 300mm f4 Nikkor. About the same price, $200 cheaper. It's $2,000 just for this lens. The adapter is $500. So right here is $2,500. This is for a 300mm f4. You add on a 1.4 full function AFS teleconverter. This is the TC14E Mark III teleconverter, which turns this into an optical 420mm at f5.6. So same speed as the 200mm to 500mm at f5.6. Goes from an f4 to an f5.6. Transforms from 300mm to a 420mm at f5.6. Just the lens alone, not including the teleconverter. Think about the difference here. This is an answer to a question that many people were asking. Do you know how large a 300mm 2.8 lens is? I got a couple 300mm 2.8s. It's obnoxiously huge. It's well over 4 times as big and heavy as this sucker is. 4 times. Go from an f4 to f2.8, 300mm. There's no way. See, that sort of lens, you mount the camera on the lens. You don't mount the lens on the camera. It is obnoxiously huge. If you even thought about letting that lens dangle off of your camera, it will rip the mount right off the camera. The threads will buckle and it will pull right through. The mount will literally come with the lens and just fall on the floor, and your camera will be... You could let this dangle all day, even if you jogged. Not that I would want to do that. You could let this dangle all day off of your camera. You have some decent light, f4, awesome. Is this lens? This lens got a lot of glass in it, yeah. It does. So does 300mm 2.8 does not. But so does the any 70 to 200mm 2.8. That's a 200mm f2.8. This is a 300mm f4. People that want a 300mm want a sports action. Autofocus on this amazingly fast. Is it any less so with this teleconverter, for example? Nope. Do you know how big the 200 to 500mm f4, 200 to 500mm f5.6 Nikkor is? Got a couple of those lenses. Yeah, I know it's ridiculous. It's a huge lens. Huge. I can sit here on the sidelines of any sports action or do wildlife, not that I'm wildlife. I actually enjoy, even though I'm not a bird photographer, I am a hardcore bird lover. Like when I'm on vacation in my other house in Fort Myers, Florida, I love going to the wildlife sanctuary and doing bird photography. It's very relaxing. Other people do it for fun. There are very few people doing it as a job because it's not a job really that pays. You know, unless you're working for how many people are working for National Geographic? You know, you can count them on a few pairs of hands. You know, so people are making money in wildlife photography. Very few. Man, that is one tough frickin' job that I would not want, even if I was in shape. No. Anyway, a lot of the wildlife photographers love this lens. Steve Perry is an example. There's a guy I really respect, a real photographer. I didn't buy this for bird photography or wildlife photography. I mean, I bought it for sports. This is it. This is an answer to a question many people were asking. Does this lens render kind of flat? Yep. Compared to like the AFD 300mm for there's a Divine portraiture lens. That's a lens I would choose for portraiture. I have that. I've got every 300mm f4 lens Nikon's ever made, except for a really old turdy non-AI 300mm f4. I own them all. The AFS version, the PF version, the AFD version, the EDIF version. I own all the 300mm f4s, including a few copies of several. This is it. Lightweight, insanely fast. Got vibration reduction on it. Oh yeah. Phase Fresnel. That's the difference between this lens and the flat, poor saturation rendering 105mm. See, that lens is a portraiture lens. But as a portraiture lens, I mean, I've tested that lens, I've uploaded a lot of pictures. That lens sucks. And it was an answer to a question nobody was asking. Nikon only made that lens as an ego trip. Why? Look, we got the fastest 105mm portrait lens in the world, which is about to be superseded by Tamron's version. It will have to be better than Nikon's version. No lens could be worse than Nikon's damn version. There are all these stupid asses that are fawning over that dumb lens because they have no frigging sense. They have no idea what a good portrait lens is. No idea at all. None. They wouldn't recognize bandwidth and micro contrast if it came up and bit them in the ass. They think micro contrast is like a unicorn. It's like a mythical beast that I invented in my spare time. People have been talking about Zeiss pop and lens pop and micro contrast for ages. Long before I ever mentioned it, and they think like I came up with it. They talk about these people talking about depth and micro contrast like it's some sort of cult that I created. Those people are idiots. They're total. I want to use a Russian. Sumashechie duraki. Translate that from the Russian. I would tell those people, pashol ty nachuy. Don't translate that from the Russian. That's pretty bad. So, that's the difference between this flat rendering lens. Everything in lens design is a trade-off. I know this lens, even with the teleconverter, which adds 7 more elements. There's a lot of glass elements in this thing, a lot. It's like, how could you praise this lens? I praise this lens, my little child, because you can't name me something else that's 300mm with vibration reduction, f4, with the teleconverter, f5. Lightweight, fast, VR, there's nothing else. What the hell else alternative is there? Something huge and obnoxiously heavy that'll pull your arm joints right out? There is no alternative to this. This is it. How you like that decal I stuck on there? Isn't that cool? Isn't that just say, fanboy? Doesn't it say that? You know, that people sticking like a sticker I stuck on that says, fanboy. You know that black cherry juice that makes you sleep? I took some of that, a gulp of it, not too long ago. And I'm already feeling really, really, really tired. When you take black cherry juice concentrate, it makes you go... It's really good to help you get to sleep. You see, I injured my knee 2 weeks ago, and I've been having issues getting sleep. So, there's the difference between this pile of awesome and that pile of crap called the 105mm f1.4 Nikkor. Huge difference. Everybody was wanting this. Nobody wanted that thing. There are people, they call it... huge HGS, huge glass syndrome. Those are the people that love it. It's like, it's huge. Look at the front element of that thing. It's f1.4. It's super fast. It's super... I mean, that thing can make the worst images possible, which it already does. But, like, amazingly bad. But people would still praise it because, oh my god, the front element is so huge. People like that are stupid. Stupid. Dumb. Ignorant. Those are the same people that buy really horrible cars because they look cool. It's like, you know, that car's got like several design flaws and the engine's always right. Yeah, but it looks cool. I'm going to buy one. Those are the stupid people buying that lens. They're idiots. I made a lot of videos about that lens. It's absolutely atrocious. I laugh every time I see it. This is so true. I was at my local camera store. There was this big, dumb, stupid oaf with 2 brain cells. I could hear him rolling around in his fat, dumbass skull. And I was just sitting there looking at him like, yeah. He's like, yeah, this is my new lens. This is, what do you think of it? It's like, yeah, I've used that lens. This is a true story. He said, you've used it, huh? I said, yeah. And I had my other camera with me. He said, you know a lot about lenses? I said, yeah, I do know a lot. And he said, well, how come you didn't buy one? I said, well, I don't want to get into that. You know, I was trying to be nice. You know, saying, you know, that lens you bought's a piece of shit. And he said, oh. He said, it sounds like you didn't like it. I said, no, you know. So he actually asked me a few more questions. He said, well, what's wrong with it? I said, well, I don't want to comment on the lens. I said, you know, it's fine. You know, you like it. That's good. And he took it a little too far, and then I laid the law down on him in a very nice way. And when he found out what I knew, he's like, oh. That was a precious moment I wish I'd captured on video. It was very precious. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. If you like this video, drop me a buck or two. Or tell me to jump off a cliff. Ah! Boom. Whatever makes you happy. Right? Right? Icon.